Okay, can you see the slide? Petals of blood, symbols, allegory, and motifs. First symbol we see that what does Wanja mean symbolically in this novel written by Ngugi Thiong'o, Petals of Blood. Wanja is often viewed as a symbol of the new Kenya or even a new Africa. After the colonialism, in Kenya got independence. So with the character of Wanja, Ngugi Thiong'o wanted to represent the whole Kenya, or in the other way, it is a representation of South Africa. She works the land, but she becomes a hood. She survives and in some cases thrives, but at what cost? She is, Somaya Tasnim suggests that not only the representation of women who struggle their way through a difficult economic situation, rather, she is representation of the new and the old Kenya as it adapts to the changes and exists throughout all the struggles with taking a stand for herself. So we know that Wanja has a past. Simultaneously, Kenya has a past. Wanja is present in the village Ilmoro. So uh, that will also be presenting the situation of women in the present situation. And next time we will see that the future. So Wanja combines the three perspectives of Kenya before colonialism, after colonialism, and also the future as well. Wanja's desire to be a mother can also be read as a both generation of the situation in Africa. We know that Wanja had a child with her father's friend that can be called sugar daddy, you know, and Wanja didn't keep that child and threw in the dustbin and came to Ilmoro. It suggests that Wanja didn't want to keep her past and wanted to be new, keeping away all the things that happened to her and happened to Kenya at the time of colonialism or European imperialism. Wanja, Kenya, and Africa have a history of murdering their children. Wanja murdered a child, and Kenya also got murdered many of their people, and also Africa as well. So Wanja's second pregnancy and her epiphany after Kenya's rejection, Kariga's rejection, signals new hope for new Kenya as a second chance. What does it mean? It means that at the ending portion of the novel, we have seen that Wanja was getting the sensation that she is going to be mother. What does it mean? New generation will come up with a new hope. And if Wanja represents Kenya, Wanja's second child will be a new hope for Kenya as well as Africa. Another symbol we have got that is Thingeta tree. Thingeta, that is an exhilarating and ever vedic drink that Nana Kinua, that means Wanja's grandmother, prepares, is a symbol of the spirit that sustains the nourishes evaluation, particularly against the role of the imperialists. So you need that Thingeta. This is their this is the drink that can be brewed only by just grandmother. It means Tengeta has a historic past, and that Tengeta inspired the people of Kenya to revolt against the imperialist power. So Tengeta represents that inspiration as at the same time that that is the representation of the sustained nourishment that helped their revolution. Since the colonial government had made Tengeta illegal, look here, that's the symbol. Tengeta has uh, a inheritance, that is the past tradition of Kenya. And for this reason, the colonial government made Tengeta illegal because it is viewed that it is the resistance and the rebellion on the part of the local Africans, and the fact that the locals drink it is thus a symbol of rebellion, and it helps the characters interrogate themselves and their place in the world. It places the beauty and the horror of their past and present realities in stark relief. Yet, as any strong drink, strong passion can win or be corrupted. So strong passion is strong in any perspectives that might be strong desire, strong emotion, or strong anything cannot be treated positively. So Tengeta also was not treated positively. That will make corruption in minds or something. And in that case, it might have some uh, negative side, but the positive side is that Tengeta is related to Kenya's past tradition. It does not always have a positive effect in it. Tengeta is a mixed bag as it pertains to Ilmorok's new profile. Ilmorok's new profile. So, past can be the ground of going forward. And for this reason, Tengeta might have some negative side. At the same time, with Tengeta, with the Kenya's past, with the African past, they can move forward. Another allegory, that is the Ilmorok, the village. Even the events in Petals of Blood are set in Ilmorok, a place that represent the events happening on a larger scale. That is the event happening at a national level. So Ilmorok is the meta-narrative in postmodern perspectives. Meta-narrative telling a simple one, you can present the whole body of a narrative. So in the same in the same way, Ilmorok can be the showroom. Ilmorok can be the showroom of a vast company. In the showroom of a vast company, you can see every product of that concerned company. In the same way, Ilmorok can be considered as the image of whole Kenya and at the same time the whole African continent. What happening there in at the time of colonialism, after the colonialism, and even the future. So Ilmorok is thus allegorically to represent the country Kenya, since at the time of the novel, the country was undergoing a transitional process. Ilmorok was a transitional process. That Ilmorok was getting new. Ilmorok was getting uh, new roads. Ilmorok was getting new people. At the same time, Kenya had been getting new development, roads, highways, construction companies, and same thing happening to the Kenya as well. And the confusion, the struggle of the villagers to carve out a place in a rapidly modernizing country, the confusion navigating the new political and the economic system, and a sense of discombobulation and fragmentation in society are visible in Morocco and the country as a whole. So what we see in Morocco, that is the fragmentation and the discombobulation. So everything. So there were several uncertainties over there among the groups, among the people living in Morocco. So some new people came over there. Okay. some people were working for the education system. Some were working for the show. Some were working for the Thingeta ring. Everything, there was a fragmentation. There was a distortion. And this kind of fragmentation and distortion was the prevailing situation of whole Kenya and the whole Africa as well. Okay. And another good symbol, that is the Trans-Africa Road that we have seen at the ending portion of this novel, Petals of the Blood. There's a Trans-African highways of the roads. The road connects, bridges, and bifurcates the open and opens up a territory. It often represents progress and modernity, no doubt, allowing people and goods to travel in a much more efficient manner over much farther distances. The Trans-Africa Road does and is all of these things, but it is not entirely positive. How investors and foreigners help fund it? Why? Because if this Trans-Africa Road is constructed, their goods can go quickly to this place, and so uh, the company will be selling their products, and simultaneously they will be uh, getting their profit. So that is the concern of the investors and the foreigners in the Trans-African Road. And in the next, it's coming to link with the rise of the new Ilmoro. That is the positive side, that is the new Ilmoro and all of its vices. That means keeping away all the negative sides of Ilmoro. Ilmoro will get to a new entity, to a new entity. That is the another symbolic meaning of this Trans-African Road. So it functions as a symbol of corruptions. Okay, so uh, positive side is that Ilmoro will be connected with the broader perspectives, and the negative side is that the for investors and the foreigners, they will come and they will get their profit, profit uh, represent profit exploiting the common people. That is the symbol of corruption as well. Okay. So we see the fire. Wenja mentions several encounters with the fire that terrified her in her past, and the central mystery of the text, who is started the fire at her whorehouse and killed three notable Kenyan businessmen. The fire is often used as a tool of violence, but it was in one just past. Okay. Okay, fire will be treated a violent thing that can, the strong fire will have a strong power that will diminish or that will vanish the everythings. And in the same way, that will be vanishing the three important Kenyan businessmen. But the other thing is that the motive is that through the fire, Ngugi or Thiong'o wanted to demolish one just past, but it is also a potent symbol of cleansing and purification. Okay, fire, you know that uh, we can make gold purified with the help of fire. Okay, we can purify metal with fire. So fire will have the demolishing capability. At the same time, it will have the purification capability. So in one hand, the fire cleanses one just past and also cleanses the corrupt or the distorted past of Kilmorok and as well as Kenya and Africa as well. Okay. So that is the things relating to the fire. Okay. So let's move on to another things of this Petals of Blood. That is some metaphors. Okay. That is one just perception of the Europeans. We have got a simile. One just perception of the Europeans' naked bodies is brought out through the particular comparison to the skin of pigs. When a woman she knew bragged of marrying a European, she explained, I couldn't tell her that I thought of Europeans as naked bodies like the skin of pigs. What does it mean? The use of this simile enhances imagery while at the same time showing how Wanja finds the bodies of the European disgusting and unnatural. It also shows just how much she needed money if she was going to engage with such creatures. Okay, so that means the metaphor of European perspectives that Wanja needed money, and for this reason she had a relation with the Europeans. And actually, in the at the time of the colonial period, the women and the general people they couldn't support themselves in education and even for their livelihood. So once I had a relation with the European, especially with her sugar daddy, that she had to surrender his virginity and everything for the sake of money and for the sake of livelihood. And for this reason, Wanja compared the European body with the necked skin of the pigs. We see another that is the fire. We have also, it has the fire will have some symbolic meaning and also the metaphorical meaning. Munira is initially less than pleased when Kariga shows up for the first time. He has to tell, he has to, he has to will himself to be a chivalrous host when he really wants to pursue Wenja that night. Yet, as Kariga talks and begins to reveal some of his and Monira's shared past, Monira admits, I just felt strange inside. Here I was, immersed, the curiosity struck to a glowing intensity by his revelation. The metaphor of the fire is uh, appropriate given what an important modifier is in the entire text, but it is especially powerful here because we can imagine a small glowing ember that begins to glow with the more intensity when stopped. This allows us to understand what's happening in Monira, and as he listens to the young man before him. Actually, Monira had a fire. Monira had a shared past with Karika because Karika and Monira they had been studying in the same school at the time. Monira, Karika, and Chui, they were the important students. Chui next time becomes the headmaster of the same school. So uh, understanding, getting the information from Karika, Monira understood that why Monira's younger sister was younger sister committed suicide. What's happening to the situation? So for this reason, the fire metaphorically represent the fire within Monira. And for this reason, that was a glue that we see from outside, but that glue of the fire metaphorically present the fire within Manila. Okay, so that is the and another metaphor we see that auspicious, auspicious, auspicious. Kariga is pleased to be teaching at the school, and but he becomes increasingly aware of how futile the curriculum is for the students. But unrealistic it is in terms of raising national consciousness and answering the most pertinent questions about the droughts and harvest and unrest. Actually, Karega, we know he has been teaching in a school, and Monida, he also had been teaching. He and Monida were two ostriches, burying their heads in the sands of the classroom, ignoring the howling winds and the sun of outside. Actually, Monida and Karika had been teaching in the same school, and there they are not happy with the school curriculum. School curriculum didn't create consciousness among the students regarding the national consciousness and answering the most pertinent question about the droughts, especially at the time. Monida and Karaka had been teaching in the school. there we have seen that the Ilmorok had been suffering from droughts and harvest and also the unrest. Okay, so any such kind, what is the reason of such kind of droughts? What is the reason of such kinds of unrest in mind and outside? There was no uh, presentation or expression in the school curriculum. So Kariga and Monira was not happy with the school curriculum. So what they put their head under the sand. As we know, ostrich is a bird who will be raining and going on in a desert. And when the desert, there will be the storm wind, the weather and the sands will start coming out as a large number and a large volume. So at the time, what ostrich will do? Ostrich will keep your head under the sand, keeping in mind that there is nothing outside. So all the sandy winds and others will be going outside their heads because the ostrich, they will keep their head under the sand. In the same way, Kariga and Marida put their head, they didn't notice the school curriculum, just like the ostrich. That is the metaphor. They were not happy with the school curriculum. They were doing this. And outsider, Monira revolves himself more and more from the society, freeing his relationship as he becomes more involved in the Christian faith. As at one point, Ngugi writes of Monira, so he only was feeling slightly left out and outside at the gate of the somebody's else house. The metaphor of someone who doesn't live in a certain house but is standing in front of it, perhaps confused or lonely, in an apt way to describe Monira's growing estrangement and status of as an outsider. We know Monira next time at the ending of the novel. We at the closing portion of the novel, we've seen Monira became a religious person. He loved religious activities. But what did Ngugi want to present with Monira's Christian faith and some uh, other belief? He said that actually Monira can't cope with the existing belief. That means he is an outsider, not he. Monira couldn't keep himself deep in the religious faith, and for this reason, his state always he uh, he he pauses. That means Monira pauses to put himself outside the all religious activities, though he became a firm believer of Christian faith. We see another thing that is one just dreams. One just reflect on the choices she made and the life she has led. She thinks that what a life she had created dreams in a broken vessel. Okay. So she was dreaming in a broken vessel. Looking back now, she could not even see a trail of the vanished dreams and expectation. It was Gemeria who had brought a hole into the vessel, and that was a true. That means being a uh, young child, once I had many dreams, but this is Gemeria who put holes in one just vessel, and for this reason, her dreams was not fulfilled. And next time, but she had let him go. And this is an effective metaphor comparing having hopes and dreams with carrying some sort of liquid in a jar, but that is actually leaking the entire journey due to the hole. Okay, so good metaphors over there. Wanja had dreams, yes, but Camelia took them away from her, and she believes, complicit now that jar of dreams is more or less empty. Okay. So, as we have told it earlier, that is Wanja represent the all women in Kenya. Wanja represented the Kenyan herself, and Wanja represent the Africa herself. So Wanja's dream reflects, metaphorically reflects the dreams of whole Kenya. All the dreams were lost that can be compared with the liquid putting in a jar. That jar had a leakage, and for the leakage of the jar, all the drinks or the liquid might get out of the bottle or the jar. In the same way, all the dreams of one jar, and that metaphorically represent all the dreams of Kenya, women, and Africa got leaked, and their dreams were not fulfilled. Okay, so these are the things we can see over here. And next move on to another things of this uh, issue, that is there are some ironic representation of metals of blood, and allow the things come out. Okay, so uh, the dramatic irony, according to the structure we see, by telling us how the book ends before it begins. The novel utilized irony. Irony, what is the definition of irony? We know that irony is the gap between appearance and reality. With almost everything and transpires, the reader knows that eventually Munira, Wanja, Karega, and Abdullah will be hauled into the police station to account for their putative role in the sensational triple murder. Furthermore, Ngugi uses irony throughout the narrative in terms of alluding to future events, which allows the reader to know things that the characters do not. That means this strategy makes for a disconcerting reading experience. So dramatic irony will be there. That means dramatic irony will be there. Suppose um, one person, the police station, they will be interrogated and they will be questioned, and also they will get punishment. But Ngugi or Thiong'o, with the help of the dramatic irony, he wanted to put it in a different way, that nothing will happen to Karega, Wanja, Monida, and Abdullah. Okay. And the authorities, the villagers, think that some of their sufferings from the droughts would be alleviated if they could only speak with the authorities. That is another kind of dramatic irony. They thought that they will hope to uh, get some relief of their pitiable condition like droughts, desert, and everything, and bad harvest. They say we should let those in authorities know. Maybe if they knew, yes, maybe if they knew of our plight, they would not be sending men only to collect taxes and the others to demand money for organization the villagers know nothing about. The reader understands that the authorities certainly must know that what is going on and that they probably care little. So the villagers' hopefulness is then an example of dramatic irony. So the villagers were hopeful that they must be getting some things from the authorities, that like the MP, and for this reason he has a track. The villagers had a track, and it's a long time, a long way journey to Nairobi to get uh, uh, get someone's video is on. Make it off, please. Uh, uh, so villagers wanted to get some relief. Hope that they will be getting some relief, but uh, next time we have found that actually they didn't got such kind of relief. Rather, they were treated, they were tortured, and they were imprisoned in jail. Okay. So and that is the dramatic irony over here. Verbal irony, the MP, an MP is supposed to be responsible to the people he represents, but in Endiri, that is the name of the MP is far from that. Indeed, the narrator cannot help that describe him thusly. His area was so remote from the city that he has hardly even troubled by illness complaints from the constituents. A happy, contented lot your people are, they would tell him that he would receive the complaints with a beaming, beaming smile. The narrator uses verbally irony here, depicting Nderi as a pompous and a proud politician, mistaking his constituents' remoteness for their content, contentments and happily accepting others' praise for doing a good job. Okay, so there is a good distance. The constituency, that means El Morocco is far away from Ender's house. So that shouldn't be uh, that shouldn't be that shouldn't be uh, that shouldn't be actually from a long distance. The Enderi can't hear all complaints of the villagers, but Enderi said that yes, I want to hear all of your complaints with a happy smile. That is also the verbal irony that we have seen in this novel. Okay, so we have got another sort of imagery will be there. Okay, that is the imagery, the old Ilmoro. This is an image of something. Ilmorok is often described as dry, bleak, and rural. Its young men are said to leave it for the city, and the children who stay are dirty and besieged by flies. The residents live in huts, and the bicycle is viewed as an extraordinary icon of modernity. Oh my gosh, that is that happening in old Ilmorok. It's a place in the hinterland, a place that is quiet and gossipy. Gossipy, that means people who believe in several talks from the tea stalls and from the other end. So and it's quiet. Less number of people have been living over there, failing, but stubbornly clinging to life. This is a place that so desperately needs help, but with help comes it's utterly transformed the village. Actually, Old Morocco is a dirty and isolated place. The people who had been living in misery, in problems, in disease, in so other things, superstitions like gossip and other things. That means this Old Morocco imaginary represent that the village needs help. Rather, they are not getting help. They actually, with the shadow or with the umbrella of help, the getting the old village was transformed. Journey, there is another imagery of journey. The journey to Nairobi is depicted as an epic one. In case of epic poem, we have seen that is a long narrative journey, underworld journey. In every cases of an epic we see. In such kind of journey we see in this novel, Petals of Blood. What does it mean? Long, tiring, and difficult journey it is, but it's imbued with a sense of monumentality and import. Like all pilgrims traveling long distances for important reasons, they vacillates between suffering and elation, seeing their quest to speak with Kendari as a profound collective action that would no doubt bear fruit. Nearly all the images of the epic journeys are here are ailing child. That means Joseph, through their journey, got sick. That is, that journey also indicates the ailing child, the search for water. They had been searching for the water for Joseph. That till a late night storytelling. At the night, they had been telling their story that can be the reminiscence of their past. And the wandering under the moon. And these images help give gravities of the tale. So these are the motif of the journey. The city is depicted as a contrast in Il Morocco. So there is a first contrast between Il Morocco and the city. It is a busy and the loud and densely packed with the all manners of people. With all manners of people, what does it mean? Good manners and bad manners. It is much more modern with the narrator noticing, for example, a Hilton Hotel, Hilton Hotel. Okay, the houses are large, the people are well dressed, and the travelers are awfully out of place in their provincialism and raggedness. Okay, that means the Ilmorok, if you observe Ilmorok, you will not find it a man of civilized people, a place of civilized. Rather, in case of this hotel, Hilton Hotel, you will not get any symptom of such kind of people. You will have smartness, and you will have other people. They are good manner, good dressed, well dressed. Okay. So the people they seek or talk to in the city, team area, Rep Jared Brown, Enderi, and Chewy are vastly different than them in the way they talk, dress, and behave. There is a suggestion of moral laxity in the confluence of such elements. So city will imaginary present different things. We see another imagery that is the Ilmorok. Ngugi uses powerful imagery of technology, modernization, capitalism, and tends to show how new Ilmorok differs from the old. So you see the technological developments over there in Ilmorok, modernization in business, paying and other doubts and other things. Okay, for and capitalism when the Ilmorok, the village became the modern city, new tax implied on the villagers. Okay, they have to pay tax for the Thiong'o company. For this reason, they have to uh, many of Nana Kinua's land had to sell for the cause of capitalism. Okay, so everything, the new Ilmorok will come up with new hope. Rather, the new Ilmorok come up with the aspects of capitalism. The bourgeois businessmen and the capitalists after independence, after 10 years independence, they came up with the idea uh, of getting profit, more profit. He writes of machines carving up the art, tools strewn about, and mud and detritus, neon light, large buildings, shanty towns, bordering wealthy neighborhoods, and the even present road, exhausted laborers, yes, etc. At the same time, all of this gives the impression of the rapid and sometimes disconnected change, which is reflected in the main characters of the internal states as well. So rapid changes and disconnecting changes, and that is the new Ilmorok. So new Ilmorok ushers new light, ushers new hope. Rather, they usher, it comes up, it welcomes, not welcomes, it gets capitalism, torture, laborers, exhausted laborers, and that is the things we have seen in new Ilmorok. Okay, so these are the things, and we have also talked about the Mao oath. You know, that is the oath. There is a frequent talk of the oath, that is Mao oath. Both one and the Kesiko wants Kenyan to take as well as the Mao oath, which featured of some of the characters past. We will look briefly at the oath and what it meant for the characters like in uh, uh, Ngugi and Abdullah. The British colonial presence in Kenya began in the late 19th century and extended up to the 20th century. Resistance against the largely extended in the Kikuyu population, that means Kenyan population, Kenya's largest native tribe. For years, they had been pushed off their lands and forced to live in ethnic reserves. Ethnic reserves, that means they were not allowed to cultivate their lands. So the Kenyan people, especially the Kenyan largest tribe, Kikuyu, they were deprived of their land right. They had their land, but they had to cultivate but pay tax to the European government. And also the native ethnic Kikuyu population were being kept in a reserved area that is designated for the ethnic people, that is the Kikuyu population. Most worked for the white farmers in the area, in an area known as the White Highlands. Okay, Highlands, White Highlands. That means there are some uh, ill harvesting area that was given to the native or ethnic Kikuyu population. But there are some rich harvest area. That means that is good harvest area that was dominated by the white peasants, and that area was called the White Highlands, a fertile place where young Europeans settled after the First World War, and when they moved there with Rhodesia. And for this reason, getting the Mau Mau resistance movement began in 1940 decades and was officially banned in 1950. And this didn't stop their activities. However, they began attacking white settlers as well as Africans whom they saw as complicit with the whites. Not only they will be attacking, Mau Mau revolution ended in 1950 decades. Still, they had their activities going on. In which way they had been attacking, that means Mau Mau rebellion protester, they had been attacking the white settler as well as the native people who were the supporters of white peoples. So this oath was one of the most powerful in some eyes, infamous part of the Mau Mau. It was secret blood oath of unity required to join the struggle. So if anybody wanted to be a member of the Mau Mau rebellion, they have to take some oath just to sign a bond, just like keeping or citing this oath. If one broke the oath, it could be bring a curse upon the person and their family. Rumors swirled about the savagery of the oath, with tales of digging up corpses, copulating with animals, eating body parts, and more, but most of them were wildly overblown. Mickey Hudson Foster explained, contrary to the long-standing discourse of savagery, the Mau Mau oath was actually an elaborate, dynamic, and sophisticated ceremony based on ancient oathing tradition, symbolism, and beliefs. It was reconstituted from its former state to one that was much more offensive, secretive, dangerous, and inclusive of other groups such as women and other previously excluded. The oath was a product of economic, political, cultural, and social unrest of the time. That means that every lines of the oath representing the political, social, and the cultural inequalities and unrest and injustice towards the Kenyan people and the African people. It is important to note, however, that about 2,000 Kikuyu were killed by Mau Mau fighters for refusing to take the oath. Okay. So what is the oath? The Al Jazeera interview with the living participants in the Mau Mau uprising spoke on the oath. One with explaining the Mau Mau oath was a mixture of so many things I cannot tell. You can join together, you won't leave them, and you won't fight and support fighters for the freedom of the country. And another thing, we look the oath because it was an oath of unity. It had some effect. After taking it, we were very united and didn't fear anything. There was a state of unity. You cut yourself here, you struck the blood, and also your friends struck blood. That is for unity. Okay. So these are the lines you can see. There are few accounts of the language of the oath which differ slightly from the each other in their I study Mau Mau from within. Scholars Donald and Barnett where Karani in Jama included one such person. I see her before God and before the people who are here, and I have today become a soldier of Gikuku and M. Mambi and I will from now onwards fight the real fight for the land and the freedom of our country till we get it, and till my last drop of blood. Today I have set my first step, stepping over a line of the goat's small intestine. Was a warrior. I will never retreat. If I ever retreat, may this soil and all its products be a curse upon me. I am called on accompany a raid or bring in the head of an enemy. I shall obey and never give lame excuse. I will never spy or inform on my people. And if I ever send to spy on our enemies, I will always report the truth. I will never reveal a raid or crime committed to any person who has taken the Ngiri oath of violence, crimes, and will still firearms wherever possible. I will never leave a member in difficulty without trying to help him. I will obey the orders of my leaders. All things, that is the oath you will see in Mau Mau oath. Okay, so it has some significance in Petals of Blood because many times we have got mention of this oath. Okay, so we would have a look on the literary elements of this Petals of Blood. Petals of Blood is a fiction. The setting is Kenya, 1960 and early 1970 decades. Narrator and point of view, third person narrative, omnipresent. Omniscient narrator means omniscient, the narrator knows everything. That is omniscient. And third person narrative, that means third person will be telling the whole story. Tone and mood, tone, meditative, anxious, foreboding, accelerated and uncertain, mood, returning, protagonist and antagonist, protagonist, Munira, Wancha, Abdullah, Karega, antagonist, Mjigo, Chui, uh, Hotsam, Chimeria. These are the antagonists. More conflict in the present who killed the three executives in the past. Will Ilmorok survive in its droughts? Generally, that is, will Kenya survive or thrive in the post-independence or new colonial era? That is the major conflict of the novel. Climax, because of the way the story is told, there is no traditional climax. The closest is the novel gets to it is the villagers arrive in the city after their long journey, and after which the novel moves into the denouement, resolution, and closures. Okay, so foreshadowing, Wanja's family experience with the fire foreshadows her own involvement in the fire that killed three men. Munira's flashback constantly foreshadows the trouble events of the future as well as the way that changes the man, and she was 12 years prior. Monira describes Ilmorok as slightly out of the way and a bit dry. Okay, so that is the things. Illusions. What are the numerous illusions of the illusions? That means the past reference. Okay, unrest in Kenya, preceded in the succeeded and independence, and the Mau and the oath and the emergency. All these are illusion. Petals of Blood is also an illusion of Greek illusions. That means the Purbo Ullek illusion. That means in literary terms, in that is a Derek Walcott's poem, that is Swamp. Chewy is a fan of William Shakespeare, that is the illusion. And revered English playwright, there are numerous illusions of the Christianity, such as Adam, Eve, Peter, and Paul, Bible, baptism, Jacob, wrestling, and angel. Godfrey's comment, when things are fully revealed to us, when we, as it were, cease to see things through a mirror darkly, that is the illusion of the writings of the Apostle Paul. Caragus quotes Shakespeare, the part of what do they say in the good luck? So these are the illusions. The lawyer reference to blue songs. The lawyer quotes Dewey, who quoted from Shakespeare, Troilus, and Cressida. So these all are the illusions we see in this novel. Imagery, there will be a paradox, that means play with words. Parallelism, there is no metonymy or synecdoche. Metonymy, that means keeping a small one and telling the large one. What was I to keep a storehouse of the eyes I had thought. So there is a synecdoche and metonymy. Personification. Personification, the getting metal has called them. So these are the literary terms used in this novel. So it's a genre, fiction, and other things we have got. So there are some link if you can consult. These are in Word file, so you can copy the this link and watch the videos and audios in your free time. That is Ngugi or Thiong'o, the author website. So if you want to go into the author's website, you will be going over there, and there is an interview with the author. So that is the link, and Ngugi or Thiong'o, a video about the author. Here you will see the link. If you have time, you can watch that. And if in case of masters, of course, you should have some broader understanding and knowledge. And for this reason, I recommend, I would like you to watch that video link so that you can have these things. Okay, there are some topic you can consult over here. That is, uh, what is the narrative significance of this novel's title? So that is the narrative significance, the song that was taken. So you will be you can talk about that. That is the title. And also we see how is the educational system of Kenya portrayed in the novel. So we have got an imagery that educational system of Kenya. That means Kariga and Munira had been teaching in a school. That school curriculum was not liked by the by Kariga and Munira. Why? Because that school system was was not presenting the present situations. Okay, and that is the things. And how does Ngugi portray the Christianity in the novel? Okay, so Christianity. So you will see that Christianity is a tool of the colonizer from the very beginning in 19th century missionaries, who perhaps unwittingly, in some cases, were the vanguard of the imperialistics. Okay. So that things, if you read that, actually through the Christianity, they have come up with a book uh, in their armpit, that is the Bible. So they, the Western, the European imperialist power, they came to all the colonial parts or to all the colony of this world with the book, the Bible. So Bible or the Christianity became the vanguard of imperialists. That means they had an intention, two intention, one intention, they will be spreading Christianity, and through the shadow of the spreading their Christian belief, they want to occupy their role. They want to capture their wealth and treasure and resources. So that is the thing Ngugi wa Thiong'o wanted to convey with the uh, theme of theme of Christianity. Why does Monira burn down the warhouse? Uh, that is, by the time Monira gets burn down the uh, so you will be uh, consulting of these things. And previously we have talked about the some other themes of this novel. Let's have a look. That means the new colonialism. That is the new colonialism. That means the, you know, what is the definition of new colonialism? That means the indirect control after colonialism. So this is a prevalent theme in this novel. Okay. And also you see that is the life and love and passion over there. That is another theme. The value of human life of the national theme. Community and brotherhood will be there. Christianity is another theme. Education is another theme. Local and global struggle. That would be the important theme of this novel, Petals of Blood. Okay. So thank you very much for attending the uh,